Hi, I'm Lisa. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. In this tutorial, what I'm going to do is show you how to make one of these zipper pouches. So they're really simple to make. These are both the same one, just in different fabrics. They've both got a zip, and there's these zipper tabs at the end which make it really easy to insert a zipper, and they give it a really professional finish. They are fully lined inside as well, which make them look super cute, and they're really easy. They're totally suitable for a beginner. So if you could, I would love to know in the comments below if you are going to make them, what fabric you're using, how you found it. I'm just really interested to know what everybody makes. So let me know below, that would be great. And let's get on into the tutorial and learn how to make them. Right, so I've chosen two fabrics here. They're complementary. They look really nice together. This is going to be the outer, and then this is going to be the inner. There's two pieces of each, so two pieces of the outer and two pieces of the inner, the lining, and they are both exactly the same size. So they're 27 by 17 centimeters, which is 10.5 by 6.5 inches. And then there's also some interfacing here, which is a heavier weight interfacing, and I'm actually going to put it on each of the four pieces. So I've got four pieces of the interfacing, which again, same size, 27 by 17 centimeters. Then the last two things I've got is I've got a zip, which matches. Okay, that's a 9-inch zip, which is 24 centimeters. And then these are going to be the little tabs that go on the end of the zip, and they are 4 centimeters by 6 centimeters, or 1.5 by 2.25 inches. Now you can do these in the outer fabric or the inner fabric. I've just chosen to do it in the outer, just for a little bit of contrast for this, but you can choose either. Okay, so that's all we need. So first things first, what I'm going to do is apply the interfacing to the back of every single piece. So you need to make sure you've got the side with the glue on, which is the shiny side, and put that on the wrong side of the fabric, and then just iron that on. Right, so let's prepare the tabs. Now, before I do the tabs, what I've actually done is I've taken the zip to the sewing machine, and if you can see on the end here, I've just gone over, I've sewn there and back again, just to attach those two ends together, just because it's going to make it easier at this next stage when the tabs are put on. So take the tab on the wrong side, fold it in half, and then basically each of the sides needs to be folded in half again. You only really need to press it with your finger. Okay, and then that tab is going to go on the end of the zip. So clip it in place and take it to the sewing machine and just sew across there. And then exactly the same for the other one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut a little bit of this end off, because what I want position wise is I want this to sit over. Can you see there's like a little plastic bit there? So I don't want to sew on that plastic bit. In fact, I'm just going to cut it a little bit more. I don't want to sew on that plastic bit because that will be quite difficult. So I want to sew that side of the plastic. So I want to make sure, can you see that it sits in there now, and I'm going to be sewing across there. So put that in place. Okay, and we clip it, and I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and sew both of those ends. Now just clip the edges off, the excess. Okay, so let's put this zip in position. So this is the lining, and it's right size facing up. Put the zip at the top, okay, centralize it so it's got the same distance at either side, which is about 1 centimetre. The zip needs to be open, which is important, okay, so the zip needs to be open, and then you're going to put the outer fabric on here. So this is right sides together now, and this is facing upwards. So this is the top. If you've got a pattern, make sure that it's facing the right way. Put that on top, pin it in place. So you want to make sure that your zip and the two pieces of fabric all line up, so everything is in line right at the top there. And then what you're going to do is sew along there. But the one thing that you need to be aware of when you're sewing a zip is that you never want to sew past this zip pull here, because it makes the stitching go wonky. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to sew to about halfway before you get to the zip pull. Leave about three centimeters, so you've got a good amount of space. And then when it's in the sewing machine, leave your needle down, and then lift the foot up. And then what you'll do is you'll just simply move this zip to that end, which has already been sewn, and then you'll carry on stitching. So what that means is you never have to sew past that zip pull, okay? And it gives you a really nice line of stitching. So let's open it out again, okay? And then take it over to the sewing machine. Is there. So what I'm going to do is I've got my needle down, I'm going to lift the foot up, and then I'm going to open up this zip and pull the zip over to the other side. There, okay, so the zip pull now has moved position, and then go back, put the foot down, and then just carry on sewing to the end. Right, so this is what it looks like now. Nice and neat. The fact that you've got the interlining on both of the sides as well makes it really nice and easy to just fold the fabric nice and crisply. Okay, so it's the first side. So we now just need to do the same thing to the second side. So I'm going to turn it over. So this is the back of the zip now, and I'm going to sit it onto this is the right side of the outer. Match that up. So this needs to sit right at the top again. Just as a double check here, what you can do is just double check, look, that when you open it up, you've got both of the right sides together. It's just another check to check that you've not sewn it the wrong way. There you go, so there, and then the lining, right sides together as well. So same thing as last time, pin it together, and then you're going to sew all the way down. And again, the same trick with opening the zip part way. Okay, so I'm just going to check where my zip is. Let's find the zip, check that it's open, because I don't think it is. No, so I'm going to open it out. There we go, so that I know when I get to about halfway, I'm going to stop. There we go, so take that over to the sewing machine. Right, so the zip now is fully inserted. So open it up, and you've got the two right sides and then the lining. So it's a good idea at this stage to give it a little bit of an iron, because what you're going to do next is you're going to sew there, top stitch either side of the zip, just to give it a little bit of a sharper finish. So you can see with this top stitching, it just gives it a really, really nice finish. And the trick is the same thing with the zip, never sew around the zip, open and close the zip when you're sewing down there. Right, now what we're going to do is attach all the way around the edge. So first things first here, you must open the zip now at this stage, because once you start sewing this together, you need to be able to get inside it. So the zip needs to be open at this stage, which is really important. So this is where having these tabs is going to make life a lot easier, because what we're going to do is when we sew next, we're going to sew just outside of these tabs. So I'll show you what I mean. Take the two outer pieces and put them together, and the two lining pieces and put them together. And they are basically going to be attached all the way around the edge. So the trick, first of all, is to sort out the side seam. So make sure that the two seams match up and put a pin in. And this is where, I'll show you on the other side, this is where you are going to sew when your stitching line, which is going to be like a centimetre, goes. It's not going to encroach onto that tab, it's going to sit just outside that tab. Okay, so it's going to allow the tab to show, and it means that the tab doesn't get crushed, the zip doesn't have to fold one way and go all squiffy. It just makes it so much easier. And then we're going to take it to the machine, sew it together, but there will be a section in the lining at the bottom. So there'll be a section here of about 10 centimetres here that is not going to be sewn, and that's where it's going to be turned inside out. So to help it lie flat, just cut off the corners close to the stitching, and then when this is turned inside out, the corners will just sit flatter, and then simply turn it inside out now using the gap that we left earlier. What I'm going to do is, with this section at the end, just turn sides underneath. They will just naturally sit in place, and then just take that to the machine and top stitch along there so that it's all enclosed. Okay, that's stitched into place, so the lining's now closed up. So let's go ahead and turn everything out the right way. Okay, so just before we go ahead and sew up the lining, it's a good idea to push out the corners at this stage. I've just got this implement that I've used. It's only something that was really cheap, I think a couple of pounds, but it's just quite handy. Woo! Pushing corners out. You do have to be careful though. You don't want to rip. And now you can see it's quite creased, and that's because the interlining in there has sort of held those creases. So what it needs is, it just needs a good iron first of all. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed that tutorial. Hopefully you found it easy to follow and helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to hearing about what you've made. Drop me some comments and let me know what fabric you chose, what did you use it for. I'd be really interested to know. So pick your next project. I've got lots and lots of projects on my channel, so pick your next one, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and I will see you soon. Bye.